Tarakov adjusted the thermal visor strapped across his ridged forehead, its display flickering with interference as he scanned the dense undergrowth. The jungle moon of Veldar was thick with moisture and teeming with life. But tonight, it felt wrong. The silence pressed in too tightly. "Move in formation, Delta 9, he ordered, voice clipped and certain. His squad, 7 of the Athari Dominion's finest, obeyed without hesitation. Each was a veteran of at least a dozen skirmishes against human outposts. They'd won them all. The briefing had been clear. Only one human remained alive in the region, an insurgent holdout, likely injured, possibly delusional. Their orders were simple: capture him for interrogation, extract information on resistance cells, a routine sweep, the kind of thing they'd done countless times. Still, the silence persisted. Tarakov tapped his communicator. "Dara, report in. Static. Dara, respond." Nothing. He paused. Dara had been on perimeter sweep just 30 meters out, her motion ping tagged to the squad's HUD. But the feed had gone dark. No alert, no spike in biometrics. Just gone. He clenched his mandibles. "Unit 7, he barked, gesturing to a younger soldier with a sleek plasma rifle. "Find her. Use thermals. Stay sharp." The warrior nodded and vanished into the brush. Seconds passed, then minutes. No signal. The jungle remained mute. No insects, no wind. Even the ever-present hum of alien fauna had stilled. "Something's jamming the feed," muttered Kale, the squad tech. "Sensors are degrading. Bioscans are fuzzy. Thermals down to 60% accuracy." "We've faced human jammers before," Tarakov snapped, "but they weren't cloaked in silence like this." The squad moved closer, rifles raised, scanning every inch of their surroundings. But nothing moved, no shots, no motion, just the oppressive stillness of the trees. Suddenly, Unit 6 twitched. "Wait, where's—" "Gone." Not a sound. No scream. No thrashing. One moment he was there, his light blue armor barely visible between the leaves, and then he wasn't. "Commander," Kyle's voice cracked, barely a whisper. I think the human's watching us." Tarakov didn't respond. Right away. His mind raced, trying to reconcile years of combat training with what he was feeling now. He had fought humans before. Loud. Emotional. They yelled when they attacked. Their weapons screamed. They charged in groups, reckless but bold. But this one was different. This one didn't make a sound, and it was that silence, absolute and consuming, that made something primal stir in the pit of his chest. It wasn't the human they feared now. It was the void where he should have been. "Lock formation. Back to back," Tarakov barked, his voice low but sharp. The squad responded instantly, rifles sweeping every quadrant. They dropped into a tight circle, visors glowing faintly in the pitch-black jungle. Moisture dripped from wide leaves above, but otherwise, nothing. Not a sound. Kyle's fingers danced over his scanner pad. "Thermals still unreliable. Motion scan. Dead zones everywhere. It's like he's bending the environment." "Impossible," Tarakov hissed. "No human has that tech." "No group of humans," Kyle corrected. "But this one's not following patterns." A sudden rustle. Squadmate Ral turned toward the sound, barely shifting his stance, and vanished. No flash of light. No noise. One blink. There. The next. Nothing but the empty space where he'd stood. Kyle swore and opened fire on the foliage in a blind arc, plasma bolts lighting up the trees in rapid succession. The jungle lit for half a second in brilliant green, then fell back into oppressive stillness. "Cease fire!" Tarakov shouted. Silence returned. The smoke from Kale's shots curled upward like breath from a corpse. Then came the whisper, barely audible. "He's hunting the noise." It came from Jorek, the leanest of them all, his mandibles trembling. Every time we speak, every time we breathe too loud, that's when he strikes. Tarakov didn't respond. His mind had already gone back, weeks ago in the war room. The briefing officer from intelligence had scoffed when describing human, battlefield behavior. Loud, obvious, filled with adrenaline and fury. Little discipline. The officer had shown recordings, mobs of humans charging bunkers with screams on their lips. But this wasn't that. This human was surgical, precise, and utterly silent. "Hold your fire unless you see the target," Tarakov growled. "No talking. Minimal movement. We fall back to evac coordinates in 10 minutes. A minute passed. Then 2. Jorik twitched. Movement. Left. He was gone before he could finish the word. The 3 remaining Ithari froze. The void grew heavier around them. Kale began hyperventilating, muttering under his breath. "No way out. No way out. He hears us. Feels us." Tarakov grabbed him, claws biting into Kale's shoulder armor. "Control yourself. Don't give him anything." Kale's eyes darted in every direction, panicked, too loud. A soft thud. Kyle dropped at Tarakov's feet. A clean hole bored into his helmet. Tarakov didn't move, didn't speak. Only he and one other remained now. A silence so deep it rang in his ears. In every war he'd fought, he'd feared the thunder of battle. Now he feared its absence. The chamber was dim, the hollow feed flickering across the marble floor of the Galactic Council's strategic assembly. High admirals from 6 systems sat in tense silence as the projection played once more, footage from the black box retrieved from Tarakov's failed operation. There was no gunfire, no command logs, no clear visuals of the enemy. Just the flickering of static, the occasional hiss of jungle wind, and, sporadically, the abrupt end of a soldier's vitals log. The audio timeline showed waveforms, but they were flat. Utterly flat. Admiral Vosk, a high-ranking Ithari officer, shifted in his seat, mandibles clicking nervously. "We believe the human used a combination of low-signature weaponry and advanced environmental cloaking. But, more than that, he manipulated silence itself." The room was still. On the far end, a figure in old Earth military attire leaned forward. Colonel Marcus Vell, retired human war analyst and observer for the Council, hadn't spoken the entire time. Now he did. "You didn't listen to the Geneva Drift reports." A few admirals turned. "Excuse me?" Vosk asked. "The Drift," Vell repeated. "Eastern European ruins, Third World War." Human snipers realized something fundamental. Fear doesn't start with a bullet. It starts with anticipation. So they went quiet. Deliberately. No breathing. No radios. They'd let enemies spiral in their own minds. Do you know how many kills were made without a shot being fired? The enemy would expose themselves trying to flee the silence. He looked up, face impassive. And then, when they were ready, they'd fire just once. The room absorbed his words in leaden silence. "Are you implying," a Cirelli counselor asked, "that this human is reviving ancient techniques?" "I'm saying he's mastered them." Val pulled up an old Earth file. Grayscale footage. A trench. Corpses piled up. A sniper's perch untouched, abandoned. Yet the logs showed dozens of kills over a week. "Human silence," he said, "has always been a choice, a weapon." Admiral Vosk's mandibles twitched. "Then we must create countermeasures." "You won't have time," Vel replied. "By the time you register silence, you're already down 3. Discussion broke out. Tension rose. But the inevitable conclusion came swiftly. By unanimous vote, the Council passed Protocol, Red 57. If human silence exceeds 15 seconds during a combat engagement, all units are to consider the area a kill zone. Immediate tactical retreat or defensive lockdown is authorized without command approval. It was officially added to the Interspecies Combat Database as Alert Code S0, Human Silence, Detected. No one cheered. No one congratulated themselves, because deep down, every species that had faced humans knew this wasn't the last time. And next time, the silence might start before they even landed. The jungle pressed in from all sides now. The canopy above filtered no light, and every branch, every vine seemed to hold its breath. Turakov limped forward, blood dripping steadily from a wound high on his thigh, soaking into the thick moss below. His visor flickered uselessly. Too much interference, too much static. Comms were dead. He was the last. No countdowns, no flares, no triumphant exits. Just the silence. He crouched beneath a broadleaf tree, his claw gripping the pulse rifle, too tightly. His breath, ragged and controlled, sounded like a scream against the void. The quiet was maddening. The absence of his squad a weight he couldn't shake. Every whisper of the leaves, every shift in the branches above felt like a prelude. Then, a soft crackle. His comms, lifeless for hours, flared with a single phrase. Tell your council. When we go quiet, it's already too late. Turakov jerked up, back against the tree, sweeping his rifle in a full circle. Show yourself, he hissed. I'm Ithari Dominion. You think this silence will— Nothing. No voice. No breath. Then, in the corner of his vision, a shimmer. Not a figure. Not a shadow. A distortion. As if the jungle itself blinked for half a heartbeat. His body froze. There, through the shifting haze, a pinpoint of light settled. On his chest. Red and unblinking. His final thought wasn't fear. It was understanding. The silence wasn't emptiness. It was something alive, intentional, hunting. A precise crack echoed once through the trees, soft, almost respectful. Turakov fell. No one came for him, no med drone, no honor guard, just the soft rustling of leaves returning to motion as the jungle resumed its rhythm, as if nothing had happened at all. Turakov never made it back, but his final log created a legend, one that whispers in every jungle, city, and battlefield. If you hear nothing, you're already dead.